Hello, and welcome to Prova Shower Base Designs webinar. In this webinar, we will demonstrate how the Prova systems allows for flexibility in size and design options of your shower base. I'm Dwayne Farley, the Technical and Installation Specialist for MD Pro and Prova products. I have over 40 years experience in the industry, and I'm excited to share my knowledge with you in this video. As with all our Prova products, Prova shower base components are designed to work together to produce custom failure-free shower systems when installed correctly. In this video, I will highlight all the exceptional technical features as well as simplified installation process offered by Prova using our pans, extensions, and drain products. I will discuss and demonstrate the installation of 3 different modular pan systems that accommodate curved and/or curbless as well as linear applications. Each of the pan systems offered has an extension system which allows the user to build out the size of their shower base to any design configuration desired. The possibilities are endless. All of our drains come with ProvaBond technology, which allows more to stick to the top of the drain as well as the drain sticking into our pan system. These drains here come with different grate finishes or tile on top, as this one here does. When used together, Prova pans, extensions, and drains offer an easy, efficient way to install a shower base that will always have an even slope, always meet the size and shape of your choosing, and never support the growth of mold and mildew. We are going to get started today by discussing Prova Pan, Prova Universal Extension Kit, and Prova Drain. Here we have our Prova Pan, a pre-sloped modular pan that includes interlocking components. There are 3 different sizes available: a 48 by 48 center drain that comes in 4 pieces, a 32 by 60 center drain, 2 pieces, and a 32 by 60 offset drain, which comes in 2 pieces. This offset pan in particular is great for tub replacements. One thing to note is that all our pans are 1 5/8 inch thick on the outside edge. With our center drains, the slope is very smooth, but when it comes to our offset pans, because the drain hole is only 10 inches from the end, the slope is very aggressive. If you have a choice of moving the drain, you should do so. However, this may not always be possible or not always an option. This is especially important to note if you want to extend your shower base with our extensions. Each pan includes a Prova Mat pan liner that covers the pan for the waterproofing. Prova Pan is made of synthetic EPS foam material, so mildew and mold have no place to grow. The great thing about working with Prova Pan is that it takes out the guesswork. Its slope towards the drain is perfect, no less than 1/4 inch per foot. It can also be installed quickly and easily, and it's lightweight. To ensure water flows properly, the system must be installed on a surface that is clean, flat, dry, structurally sound, and level. Here we have some close-ups of the specifications on our various pans. The distance from the center of the drain on the 32 by 60 is 30 inches from one end, 6 inches from the side. On the 48 inch pan, it is 24 inches to the center. And on the 32 by 60 with the offset, it's 10 and 50 inches from the ends and 16 inches from the side. With Prova Pan, you are not limited to the 3 sizes we just discussed. You have a choice and you have design options when you use our Prova Universal Extension Kit. This modular component can be used to extend a shower base to any size you want. There is no limit. You can install a mile-long base if you wanted to. The extensions would be big, but as long as you build them up by a 1/2 inch each time after the first extension piece, you can actually do it. Prova Pan and extensions must be installed using polymer-modified thin-set mortar. Here are a couple of simple shower base configurations that can be produced using our extensions. A 4 by 6 shower with our 48 inch center pan requires 2 full extensions and 1 cut down to 1 foot. A 5 by 7 shower with our 32 by 60 center pan requires a total of 8 extensions. As you can see, we have a bunch of full extensions, and then we have some extensions that will have to be cut down to fit, which of course are very easy to cut. Now for a 6 by 6 system, you will need 2 extension kits. The diagonal lines on the extension kit must be cut off to honor the slope of the pan. If you don't cut the triangles off, you will have a lip where the 2 extensions meet. If you look at the completed system, you'll notice that it's really just 4 large triangles that come together at the center of the drain. The extensions extend those triangles outward. The Prova Pan and Prova Universal Extension Kit components are meant for curved applications. So if you're installing this pan system, be sure to pick up a Prova curb. Alternatively, you can pick up complete Prova shower kit. These kits are a convenient option that include all the components needed to install a watertight shower system. ProvoMat waterproof membrane, inside and outside corners, pipe seal, shower curbs, and a PVC or ABS drain option. All that is missing is some tile, mortar, grout, and our Provo tile edge to finish the job. Now let's talk about the Provo drain component that can be used with either Provo Pan or the Provo Pan Multi. Provo drain is available in ABS and PVC construction. ABS is most widely used in Canada, but there are some instances where PVC drains may be specified for use in low-rise buildings up to 4-story in order to meet fire code. We have 2 Provo drain options available. The first option includes a standard stainless steel grate. The second option comes without a grate and offers flexibility to purchase a drain grate finish separately that will pair perfectly with your next job. Both kit options are available in ABS and PVC. Provo drain is easy to install and has a 2-inch flange for connecting to 2-inch drain pipe. And the flange can be reduced down to 1.5 inches if needed. The stainless steel grate and grate base can be repositioned using the adjustable multi-directional grate housing composed of a collar and ring. The grate housing moves back and forth by 1/4 inch in all directions, and the threaded collar helps to set the height at the perfect size for your tile. Provo drain is designed with proprietary Provo Bond technology sprayed on top and bottom of the drain body, which allows mortar to adhere directly to the drain flange, ensuring a complete bond between the drain and the pan is achieved. Also, the drain includes countersunk holes, which allows you to screw this drain down to your substrate so that it remains in place while the mortar is still curing for 28 days. When the plumber comes to hook it up the drain, they won't be able to push this off accidentally. Moving on to Provo Pan Multi, a pan and extension system ideal for accessible showers and open concept design. Provo Pan Multi is a 1-pan solution that can be used for many common shower system sizes. This modular system allows for flexibility to create large, square, or rectangular shower bases, is great for curbless applications, and can also be used with a curb if you wish. Provo Pan Multi is pre-sloped, so the floor must be level. It has grid lines on it that show where it can be cut down to the most common sizes. However, Provo Pan Multi can be cut down to any size you wish. You don't have to follow the grid lines. You create pans that are 32 by 32, 32 by 60, 3 feet by 5 feet, 4 feet by 5 feet, or a 4 foot by 4 foot, or anywhere in between. And you can also extend the system to whatever size you want using the Provo Pan Multi extension system. This 1-pan solution allows you to customize your shower base to any size you want. Without extensions, Provo Pan Multi begins at the size of 5 feet by 5 feet. The reason for this is because you need a 5-foot length to create a wheelchair accessible shower system. The Provo Pan Multi extension kit functions in a similar way to our extension kits for our other pan products. They are different in that they don't have the same starting height. They are actually thinner. They are 1 foot by 4 foot and start at a thickness of 1/8 of an inch from the leading edge to 3/8 on their backside. This reduces the amount of plywood you need to remove if you are doing a shower larger than a 5 foot by 5 foot. This works perfect for 3/4 inch plywood. If you're dealing with 5/8 plywood, you will have a 1/4 inch difference in height. For this instance, you just need to cut the extension halfway down the middle, as it will be a 1/4 inch at the cut edge. They maintain the same slope as the pan, 1/4 inch per foot, and 8 come in a box. Here are all the tools you'll need to install the Provo Pan Multi, and the Provo Linear Pan systems. You'll need a mixing drill, a mixing paddle, a 1/4 by 3/8 minimum trowel for putting the pans in, a 1/4 by 1/4 square notch trowel for putting in our uncoupling membrane. We need a 1/4 by 3/16 inch for our Provo Mat, our waterproof membrane. Margin trowels, always handy to have. A pencil, a knife, safety glasses, tape measure, ABS solvent cement for hooking your drain to your drain pipe, straight edge, a saw may come in handy, a level, and a bucket of mortar. So now we're going to get at it. This is Provo Pan Multi. It's a 60 by 60 inch. Outside edge is 7/8 of an inch, and it flares down 1/4 inch per foot to a very thin area here. But this pan is so dense that this thin part here doesn't mean anything. It's still going to be a strong product for you. So the drain is always, because it's a center drain, it's always 30-inch center. What we're going to do is, because they want this curbless, you could use a curb with it, but they want it curbless, we have to sink the pan into your substrate. Now this can't be done on a concrete floor unless you're going to plan for it at the beginning of the stages of building that house. So what we have to do is we have to cut this down. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do when we do that. So for all our other pans, the hole in the pan is the right size to cut. That's not the case with the ProvaPan Multi because it's so thin there. We're trying to keep you as low as possible so we don't have a high part out here. It keeps everything down at the low starting point. So we have what we call a shoulder on this drain. We want that shoulder to rest on the plywood. So we don't cut it as we normally would out around here. I've marked on there where I want this drain cut. It's between 4.5 to 4 inches, so 4 to 4.5 inches. That lets it go in there. You still got some movement back and forth a little wee bit at that size, but we're still going to have this shoulder sitting on our substrate, which is what we want. So now we have our pan in, the drain's in. We got to put our membrane in, but let's do that in a minute. We want to bring this, we want to extend it out to this edge out here. How do you do that? Well, just so happens we have extensions. They're 1 foot by 4 feet. As you can see, they start at 1/8 of an inch. They go to 3/8. So right in the middle, that's a 1/4 of an inch. And that's important because if this happened to be raised up by a 1/4 of an inch, we might want to cut it here. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut it on those lines, but they're there for you. So what's going to happen here is we're a little bit high there, which is good. We should be because I just put this in dry. It has no mortar underneath of it. Which so when I mortar it, now I'm going to be bringing that up. Something you can't do, and hopefully you can see this, you can't do that scenario. Even though my leading edges are all where they belong as far as height-wise goes, I have an issue here. This is 3/8 of an inch, that's 1/8 of an inch. So you can't do what I've shown you there. What you're going to do is this, you're going to cut it on a 45. Measure the width, come back that same amount from this mark to the corner, and you have it. So we got our 1/8 inch to the 3/8. It's going to go right in there like that. Same thing here. So that's how we're going to keep that and make it bigger. We're filling pieces back over there and back over here behind me. We'll fill those pieces in with cutoffs from here. And that's going to have our same slope all the way through, no less than 1/4 inch per foot. Very easy to do. So I'm going to put those in now. So that's my extensions to turn the shower from a 5x5 to a 6x6. Yeah, the drain's not center. That sometimes it can't be avoided. We have joists in the way that will not let us move that drain to where we want to. All right. So now if we want to extend that out, we've got a 1/4 inch difference here. How would you do that? With this, you can't do anything with it, but if you put a 1/4 inch product in there, our 1/4 inch Prova board works perfect, then we have that. So that now we keep going. And we get showers out there now that are 10 feet wide. Like they're huge. Now I got a 1/2 inch difference here. So what have I got to do? I got to put a 1/2 inch board here. Or I could do one piece of the 1/4 inch out to here, and then another piece on top of that. Or I can just go right to 1/2 inch now. It does the same thing. Because right now, I'm a 1/2 inch below. The 3/8 here and the 1/8 there. So you can just keep going and going and going. We can do any size shower you want with this system. With any of our extension systems, except for linear, which is only length. So now we have our 5x5 shower, but we're still short the foot for the extensions, plus no less than a 2 inch overlap. So now we have to have membrane that starts from here and goes over that and covers that by 2 inches. So now I've covered the extensions with ProvaMat, so I have that waterproof starting here all the way through. I overlapped by no less than 2 inches. Even the side piece there, I ran that one all the way through here, and this one here overlaps. Now I went more than 2, but 2's enough. Just that's that piece I had. So now everything is sloping to the drain, 1/4 inch per foot. Water's going to head there. Last but not least, we're going to cover the Prova linear system. This pan and drain system is a great option for modern and contemporary style showers where you get a sleeker look with linear design and also have the option to insert tile into the top to create a seamless look on your shower floor. Linear drains are most commonly used in an end placement where the pan slopes in one direction towards one wall. This one-directional slope and drain placement also allows one to make the drain a little more inconspicuous in the design, and you could even hide it underneath a bench. With our system, you have the flexibility to choose your preferred drain placement. There are several component parts of this system. We have the Prova linear pan extension, side supports, tile and top, filler strip, hair catcher, and Prova linear drain with Prova mat. The stainless steel grate and Prova mat waterproof membrane must be purchased separately. The system has a 1/4 inch slope per foot, so water drains. And remember, to ensure water flows properly, the system must be installed on a surface that is clean, flat, dry, structurally sound, and level. The Prova linear pan system is modular and it can provide configurations for end, center, and even tub replacement applications without moving plumbing. We have 2 common 4x4 pan kits for easy selection on the most common shower sizes and configurations. The Prova linear pan center drain kit includes 4 pan components and 2 side support pieces. The Prova linear pan end kit includes 2 pan components and 2 extension components, 2 filler strips for flange support, and 2 side support pieces. Alternatively, all components are also offered separately if you want to get creative with your shower-based design. The Prova linear pan includes 2 pan pieces, and the Prova linear extension includes 2 extension pieces. The kit with the center drain produces a pan system that is 4 feet by 4 feet. As you can see, both dimensions span 24 inches from the center of the system. The kit with the end drain has a 4-foot span along one dimension and is a bit longer in the other dimension because it's 48 inches to the center of the drain and still another 2 inches past that, so it's about 50 inches in total. Our Prova linear system also offers extension options so you can get even more creative with your shower-based configuration. With our Prova linear extensions, it is important to note that when installing them, you will need to build up the extensions by a 1/2 inch for every pair added after the first set of extension pieces. This ensures that the slope is continuous because from the front to the back there is 1/2 inch difference in height on the pan pieces. Here we show some configurations of the linear system with extension pieces integrated into a pan with a center drain and an end drain. For the center drain configuration, you would need a center drain pan kit and 2 sets of extensions, or you could use 2 end drain pan kits. With these, you wouldn't need any extensions because they're already included in the kits. For this next end drain system, you would need the end drain pan kit plus 1 extension kit, which will need to be built up by 1/2 inch. Now let's talk about the drain component to be used with this system. Prova linear drain is offered in 3 lengths, 24, 36, and 42 inch. Each drain kit includes a tile and top component. We also offer a stainless steel component which is sold separately and is available in all those 3 sizes. The stainless steel grate option is great for mosaic tiles as they can be installed around it without adjusting the height of the grate. The tiles will be flush with the drain because it sits about 1/4 inch higher than the drain body on its own. The drain includes pre-bonded Prova mat membrane so you don't have to waterproof the body of the drain yourself. The membrane is adhered to the drain body with 3M structural adhesive. It has also been evaluated and approved by ICC-ES for compliance to the Uniform Plumbing Code and the National Plumbing Code of Canada. Similar to our standard Prova drain, the body of the Prova linear drain and the tile and top are coated with Prova Bond surface treatment. This provides a superior bond for the polymer modified thin set mortar. Prova linear drain connects easily to standard drain outlets. The underside of the drain has a 2-inch ABS tailpipe for connecting to 2-inch ABS pipe. You will need a coupler to join these 2 pieces together. The drain size for the rough end is always 4.55 inches wide, so just over 4.5, and 2 inches longer than the drain itself. For example, a 36-inch drain will measure 38 inches long from flange to flange. A reducer can be used for fitting the drain to 1.5 inch pipes. By installing the drain with the included tile on top, it makes the drain nearly invisible, especially when using dark tile. For installations of thicker tiles, the 4 height adapting clips that come with the grate can be used. In addition to the 1/4 inch height of the grate on its own, the clip can add another 1/16 inch, a 1/8 inch, 3/16, or even a 1/4 inch depending on how they're put in. So the grate's height can be increased to a maximum of 1/2 inch with the height adjusting clips. This is perfect for installations with large format tiles. It comes with 8 clips in total, 4 for the 1/16 and the 1/8, and 4 for the 3/16 and 1/4. Now I'm going to dry fit all the Provolinear pan and its components. When dry fitting ahead of time, it's useful to put little marks on the pans so you know which one's left and right. Just makes it easier. You always want to dry fit before you mud these in. So now we have the side supports here that we're putting in place. Just to make sure everything fits, we have to support the drain 100% around. And you can see each piece just puzzles together, putting our other side support in. And in the back, to support the back of the drain, we're going to put in our filler pieces. This just supports the back edge of the drain. And now we're going to carry on, but you want to always protect your work. Never walk and work on top of your pans. Always protect them. And again, these just puzzle together. In our extensions, they have the same slope as our pans, always slopes one way. Just like that, just puzzles together. Now the next one's, it's the same extension piece. Because there's a difference in height from front to back by 1/2 inch, we're going to have a little bit of an issue. But that's not a problem. All we have to do is put down a piece of Provo board or any 1/2 inch product so we can raise our extension up. And as you can see here, it just keeps everything nice and smooth. The transition keeps going down. Then we finish the dry fit. And as you can see, we got smaller at this end to bigger on that end. And the slope is 1.2 degrees, which is fantastic. Now we're going to dry fit the Provolinear drain. We need to make sure everything fits before we start mortaring these in. It just sets down in, we're good to go. Last but not least, our Provo curb. So this is a linear pan install again. We had it done before. We had the whole shower done with the pan, the extension, the built-up extension. But now there's a kink thrown into it. They want a bench. So we're going to put a bench in. So the bench is already in here now. The pan, we got lucky, fits. I don't have to cut any off of it. Because we're putting a 2-inch board, the 2-inch board is going to come out to here. We're going to have plenty of coverage. The only thing that's got to be done here now is the curb, of course, won't fit in here because the bench is taking up some of that space. And we got to cut it. Cutting it, pretty easy. Again, make nothing tight. If it's tight, it's always going to cause you a problem. We got a bit of play in there, so there's no problem getting that in there. So that's what we're going to do now. Now we're going to put all these products in. The bench is in place. We're now going to mortar in the linear pan and the Provo curb. Polymer modified thin set mortar. We're using white here, but gray's fine. 1/4 by 3/8 square notch trowel. First thing you're going to do, we know everything fits. We've already dry fitted everything. You're going to flat trowel this, or as they call keying it in, burning it in, different names for it. And what this does, it makes sure you get 100% coverage to your substrate, whether it be on plywood or concrete. Now we're going to notch it. So that's that done. It's a plywood substrate, so we could just flat trowel this. A concrete substrate, even though it looks flat, is really up and down. We don't want you going on a concrete one without using a notch on the back of the pan. So again, you're going to key it in, get that 100% coverage. And then we're going to notch it. So by doing this, I know I'm going to have 100% coverage, which is what we need. So set that in place lightly. Don't get too carried away. We've got to put in our side support too. And we're going to do the next one. Yeah, so we've got it all notched up there. Push that in. Make sure I have it in the right spot. The best way to get these put in there is to walk right on them. I'll pull this one back up. Perfect coverage. And you can see it moves a bit. It's a lot of mortar underneath there. But it's like doing ceramic tile. If you don't get enough support underneath, you're going to have an issue. As you can see, I put drywall on top. I happen to have drywall left over. I think drywall is a great product to put down on top of your work so you don't damage it. So that's that done. So at this point in time, we're putting the drain in place. You would have to, at this time, hook up to your drain pipe unless it's accessible from underneath. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Now the recessed drain area, I have to fill that full of mortar. Next thing we want to do, we want this drain, as in our other drains, supported on the back edge. So by taking your trowel and what I call tenting it up like this, so when this drain goes in, it's now going to be supported on the ends as well as in the center. And you can leave that rolled up the back of there, or you can cut it off. It doesn't matter, because when the Provo board goes on here or the Provo mat, it's all going to tie together. But there's nothing wrong with leaving it up there. And then you're going to flat trowel it all smooth. And this is where having that piece of styrofoam in there, that spacer piece, your tile guideline, doesn't let mortar fall inside your drainer. I would have had some already right there. Now we do the curb. The trick to the curb is filling these back dovetail designs. This is what locks it in place. Good. And that's it for that. Now we have our Provo mat. Provo mat needs to overlap this drain by no less than 2 inches. But there's nothing wrong with going more. right out to there, like 3 inches. Then we're gonna put another piece over here. It's gonna overlap by 2 inches. We're gonna carry on. So I'll just do a pencil line on here for you. So that's how far this edge is overhanging. So you can see that's way more than 2 inches. That's like over 3. Nothing wrong with that. Don't cut it too close. So that's ready to go to be put in. And then we'd put after that's in, we'd put our face on top of our bench. That covers it for our webinar on Provo shower-based designs. To recap, we discussed all the benefits of our pan systems, including ProvoPan, ProvoPan Multi, Provo Linear Pan, and their drains. We explained how all pans can be extended by using their appropriate extension system. And we went over how easy and efficient it is to design and install custom failure-free shower systems with Provo products. The learning doesn't stop here though. This was just one video on some of our Provo products. But we are always innovating on our offerings and updating our installation methods to meet changing needs of installers and industry standards. Please join me and watch our other videos in this series, where I go over topics like waterproofing, tile underlayment, mortar types, and installation techniques. I'll see you there.